Remarkably, another single-pilot PC-12 has crashed with all 7 occupants not surviving the accident. The Aviation Safety Network lists this crash as the 12th worst accident in 2024 and the 8th worst accident of a PC-12 aircraft. This Pilatus PC-12 went down just northeast of Recluse, Wyoming on July 26, 2024. The preliminary report on the crash of November 357 Hotel Echo has been published. The report states sections of the left wing and additional airplane fragments were distributed on a debris path almost 1 mile from the main impact site. This indicates an in-flight breakup of the aircraft. On July 26, 2024, a Pilatus PC-12 aircraft carrying the pilot and 6 passengers initially departed from West Georgia Regional Airport. The aircraft made a refueling stop at Nebraska City Municipal Airport before flying towards Billings-Logan International, the destination airport. On board, in addition to the pilot and his wife, Larry and Melissa Haney, were 3 members of the Atlanta family gospel singing group, the Nelons: Kelly, Nelon Clark, Jason Clark, and Amber Kistler. Amber's husband, Nathan Kistler, and the Kistlers' assistant, Melody Hodges, were also on the flight. We now pick up the flight from the refueling stop at Nebraska City Municipal Airport. The aircraft departs Nebraska City Airport on runway 15 at noon hour under clear skies. The autopilot is engaged, and the NTSB data indicated the aircraft to climb to 26,000 feet on a northwest heading of 295. The departure and climb to cruise to a maximum altitude of 26,000 feet, MSL, is normal without any issues. At 13:02, the PC-12 pitches up with a gradual right-hand turn and climbs to about 27,500 feet, MSL. In conjunction with the autopilot disconnect, the aircraft goes off course with a series of altitude changes in association with a tight right spiral before descending with a recorded maximum descent rate of 23,000 feet per minute. The NTSB data reveals 4 distinct phases in the final 2 minutes of the flight. Phase 1, the aircraft climbs to 26,500 feet. Phase 2, the aircraft then pitches down in a tight right spiral to 25,200 feet, showing a ground speed of 289 knots. Phase 3, the aircraft pitches up to an altitude of 27,350 feet, while losing ground speed to 131 knots. In Phase 4, the PC-12 pitches down with a maximum ground speed of 319 knots and a descent rate of 23,000 feet per minute before impacting the terrain. During the last portion of the flight, the pilot reported to the Salt Lake City Air Route Traffic Control Center. The pilot informed the controller of loss of the autopilot and declared an emergency. The controller queried the pilot on where he would like to land, but received no initial response. The pilot then responded that he was trying to get control of the airplane, to which the controller advised the pilot to let them know if he required additional assistance. There was no further response from the pilot. Following a loss of radio and radar contact, the FAA issued an alert notice for the airplane. Subsequently, the airplane was located by local law enforcement personnel in remote terrain about 12 miles northeast of Recluse, Wyoming. One witness located near the accident site heard a loud whining noise that diminished and then increased, followed shortly thereafter by smoke emanating from the area of the accident.
Reporting the loss of autopilot control and declaring an emergency suggests a heavy reliance by the pilot on the autopilot system. Perhaps the autopilot was kicked off due to icing or turbulence, and the pilot was unable to gain control of the aircraft, with the control surfaces severely out of trim. Was the pilot trying to engage the autopilot without success, while trying to regain control and hence declaring an emergency? With a satellite overlay of the clouds on the flight path, it is clear that the aircraft was in convective thermal weather. There was no deviation in the course of the flight. We do not know if turbulence or icing or a malfunction contributed to the autopilot turning off. The issue of pitch trim runaway may have surfaced in this accident. How current was the pilot in reviewing his pitch trim system training to manage a trim runaway emergency? As a result of abnormal trim settings and aircraft speed, control forces become excessively high. Despite exerting maximum effect with both hands on the control column, the pilot is unable to fully counteract the nose up or down forces. Excessive forces did result in an airframe breakup for this PC-12. Subsequently, the aircraft developed high rates of descent in the final seconds of the flight. PC-12 operators must review their training and checking procedures for the aircraft's pitch trim system to ensure they are adequately prepared to manage a trim runaway emergency. Once again, this is another single pilot accident in a PC-12. The PC-12 is a complex, high-performance turboprop, and this aircraft has a stellar safety record, one of the best in general aviation. However, a recurrent theme highlights every accident with the PC-12 to be involved with a single pilot. If something goes wrong, a single pilot can quickly get overwhelmed. This may be the case for this accident. A second pilot in the right seat on a long flight such as this one may have made a significant difference in the outcome. Condolences go out to the family and friends associated with this tragic flight. We now await the final NTSB report on November 357 Hotel Echo to better understand what went wrong on this flight. Thanks for watching.